Hello, this is Virtualis the Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. Today I played a very fun and winning line of the Vienna Game. Around a couple of months ago, I posted a video describing a game where I played the Wayward Queen, that is, Queen h5, in the Vienna Game opening. This is available when the opponent with the black pieces responds to the Vienna Game, that is e4, e5, knight c3, with the Anderssen Defense, developing their dark square bishop to c5. In this game, my opponent then played some natural and intuitive moves, but this leads to a loss of a piece and disaster. Please enjoy. Let's have a quick look at the review. So I played very well in this game, if I do say so myself, almost 96% accuracy. And the opponent didn't do badly, 82% accuracy, equal, but then, there's a mistake which makes all the difference. So let's have a quick look now at the analysis. Okay, so this was a game I actually played on Lichess, and I've imported it into chess.com for the analysis. And as usual, when I play on Lichess, I play sort of a quicker format, so 10-minute game plus 5-second increment. This was a Vienna, so e4, e5, knight c3, and my opponent played the Anderssen Defense, so a bishop c5. Now, against bishop c5, in this game, I played the Wayward Queen, so queen to h5. Now, those who remember the giraffe attack is queen to g4, and both of these moves sort of take advantage of the fact that the opponent moved their bishop early. So with the giraffe attack, you directly sort of attack the g7 pawn, with the Wayward Queen potentially targeting that weak f pawn. And potentially, as you will see, inducing some weaknesses in the opponent's defenses. So Wayward Queen, and you will notice the Wayward Queen in the Vienna setup with the Anderssen Defense is not bad. It is still at least equal, while, typical Wayward Queen, with, e4 and the queen straight out is bad, Well, this is actually not bad. Now, here, of course, the threat is, if the opponent doesn't do something about this, is that I could then capture that with check, and then, this is looking a bit soft as well. So basically, that's not going to happen, at the level where I'm at. So Lichess is a little bit different, but I'm around 1300, so sort of early intermediate now. So that is the logical move. Opponent does that. Here, develop bishop c4. So, if they're careless, there could be a scholar's mate, but of course that's not going to happen. And this is actually what we want. So you will see here, white is now ahead. So these were all sort of natural moves. White is now ahead. And in the previous game, where I've sort of a video where I made the video on the Wayward Queen in the Vienna, I moved the queen all the way back to d1, which is actually perfectly fine. Basically, this is what you wanted to do, induce this weakness here. And in this game, I decided to play f3, queen f3. So again, there's a potential attack there. Now here, naturally, the opponent is going to play knight f6, which is the best move, and now develop knight ge2, still plus 0.5. Very natural move, d6. I will play in a symmetrical way with d3. Now, Stockfish reckons blocking sort of that square is best. However, you notice it's not that different, and it gets a little bit trappy, because now very natural looking move, an attack on the queen. And now queen just slides over. Calmly slides over to g3. Very natural move, queen to d7. And the reason I know this is natural is that about a couple of weeks ago, a little bit over 2 weeks ago, I played a mate of mine, after we sort of had a meeting and then we had lunch together, and we actually played over the board, so in real life. And he ended up playing a very similar sequence of moves, which is why I was a little bit familiar with this sequence of moves this time, because this was almost exactly move for move what he played, and a very similar thing is about to happen. That's going to happen here. So the logic here, of course, is the queen protects that bishop, and now potentially, you know, an attack on the queen. And it looks like, where's the queen going to go? Now, f3, an attack on that bishop. What are they going to do? Very natural. Rather than sliding the bishop out of the way, attack the queen. So tempting to attack the queen. But I can now just straight up take that bishop. Have to capture back and capture back. And I am now straight up a piece. I'm straight up a piece. More than that, this move, g6, has sort of permanently damaged sort of the defense on the king side if the opponent wants to castle onto that side. Now they bring their knight back, which was a good move. Defend that extra pawn. They castle long, which makes sense given that potential weakness. But now, you know, with that long castles, these two they're in a diagonal. So they thought, so my opponent thought, look, maybe they could sort of do something, but that doesn't work. That's a straight up capture, like +6 now. You know, they captured a pawn, capture. So, you know, yes, they save one of their pieces, but they lose another piece. So basically it's not really even a pin, is it? It's almost a skewer. Effectively led to a loss of a second piece. +8 now, looking very, very strong. Here, move the bishop with an attack. That made sense. Move the queen out of that line. Opponent pushes forward. That's fine. Now, I didn't want to lock my bishop in. So here, I avoided the opponent themselves playing h4 by me playing h4 myself. And if they capture, yep, I wasn't too worried about that potentially. They sort of having to sort of reroute their knight because that knight can't really get to very many places on that side. Here I decide to put a rook onto the f file, captures. That's okay. Move it out of the way. Move it out of the way. And now the push. Now here I actually have to admit I just straight up missed the fact that that rook was now hanging. But I thought, no, that's okay. That's okay. I am going to, in this situation, calmly going to bring my knight forward. Basically, there's a potential fork here, which is pretty powerful, I thought. They move with check. That's fine. Now I get rid of one of their pawns. Nice. They didn't want to potentially be put into that fork, but it doesn't work. There's another fork, and more than that, that now sort of opens up an attack there as well. So they capture, and basically they're in a position now where both rooks are hanging. So I capture the first one, and the opponent opts to resign because here I'm in just a completely winning position. So rook and knight versus I still have the bishop pair, a knight, both rooks. So this is looking very, very good for me. And it sort of all started with that sort of very winning move because the opponent made completely natural looking moves. And the really interesting thing here is I'm going to sort of move back to, here we go. Let's get back to here. So back to this position where I moved here, an opponent moved their queen down. The really interesting thing here is when I look at sort of Lee chess community games, so just ordinary games, at this move, which Stockfish reckons it's only plus 0.7. According to the Lee chess database, white wins over 90% of the games from this position onwards, which is, I think, absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. So very interesting line, very winning line against the Anderssen Defense. Good game with the opponent. GG. The insight I have from this game is that the Wayward Queen is now my default response to the Anderssen Defense when I play the Vienna Game. It seems to be one of those lines where the cold hard logic of the computer thinks that white and black are fairly equal, but against humans, black seems to do badly. Nice. I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.